Hello friends, today we will be covering the nested if statement. So till this point we have covered if, elif, if else. Okay, so this is the last conditional control structure in Python. So nested if. What is nesting? Nesting is a process of placing the if or if else or elif statement in another if statement. It enables us to make complex decisions based on different inputs. It is used to check multiple conditions. Means what? Whenever we require to check multiple conditions, like we check first condition, depending upon its true or false, we have to write a other condition. Okay, so in such cases we will use a nested if. What is the syntax of nested if? Let's check this. Okay, so here is the syntax given and here is the flow chart. Okay, so if condition 1 is true, okay, this is a normal if statement. If this condition is true, we will go inside. Okay, this is a body of this if statement. Okay, so we will check if the condition 1 is true, we will check for a condition 2. Okay, if a condition 2 is true, then we will execute statement 1, else we will execute statement 2. Suppose condition 1 is a false, then it will come to this else. This else belongs to this if and this else belongs to this if. Okay, so it will execute statement 3 and the statement n. These are the normal statements in the program. Okay, here is the flowchart for the same syntax. Now just observe here if else is used, but it's not necessary like you have to always use if else. You can just use if, you can use if elif, you can use if else, and same thing you can use inside the else block as well. They have not shown here, but you can use it. Okay, so check the flowchart. Condition 1 is true, it will check condition 2. See here. Okay, if condition 2 is true, it will execute statement 1. If our condition 2 is false, it will execute statement 2. If our condition 1 is false, it will execute statement 3. Understood? Now same explanation is written here. So we will jump to the program. We have to write a program to print the greatest number among the 3 numbers. So we will ask user to enter 3 numbers. Number 1, num1, num2, num3. These are the variables used to store the value entered by the user. Okay, so enter the first number, second number, third number. Int, because we are asking integer value to user, input means we are asking user to enter. We covered all this in our previous videos as well. If you missed it, you can go to the description and you can check the playlist. Okay, now from here our actual logic started. How we will decide whether which number is the greatest among 3 numbers, because we have to, in this case we have to compare all the numbers with each others. So the logic is something like this. If num1 is greater than number 2, yes, it means number 1 is greater. So we will check if number 1 is greater than 3. If this is the case, it means number 1 is the greatest. Same thing is written here. If num1 is greater than 2, it will check if number 1 is also greater than number 3. It means number 1 is the greatest, and it is just printing the number 1. This print is you can see here we are giving a message and then comma and then giving num1. So it will not print num1, it will print actual value inside num1. Suppose number 1 is not greater than number 3. What does it mean? Number 1 is less. Correct. So then number 3. And number 2 is already less than number 1. So what does it mean? Number 3 is the greatest. That's why in else part they have written number 3 is the greatest. Now check. Num1 is greater than num2. Means what? Number 2 is the greatest. So it will not, number 2 is greater than num1. So it will not go inside here. It will come to else. And we will check if a number 2 is also greater than number 3. Okay, if that is the situation, it means number 2 is the greatest. Okay, so number 2 is the greatest and it is just printing a number 2. If number 2 is not greater than number 3, number 2 is not greater than number 3, already number 1 is less than number 2 and number 2 is less than number 3, it means number 3 is the greatest one. That's why it is printing number 3 is the greatest and it is just printing the value. Okay, so I have already written this program, so I'll just show you. I will open it and I will just show you how it is working. Okay, so see here, same program is written here. I'll just run it. Okay, I will enter number 1 greater first. Okay, greatest one. So it is printing num1 is the greatest. Now I will just add number. I'm so sorry, I not run and I directly enter the values. Okay, fine. So 45, 55, 34. So number 2 is the greatest. I hope you understand this. If you like the video, do subscribe the channel, share with your friends.